Hi, good afternoon. My name is Xiao Hong. I'm the customer engineer with Google Cloud, and I'm from the public sector team. So today I'm going to co-present the overview of Cloud AI together with Nick. All right. What I want to do for the next 15 minutes is a bit different. I don't want to go into the product details because sometimes product pitch may not be related to your environment, right? Instead, I'm going to give you an overview of Cloud AI, the different segments of customer that we target, and then I'm going to share with you the 3 or 4 customer stories. And I'm going to share the technical details behind the customer stories. So hopefully that will resonate with you and see how the AI technologies can be applied to your environment. Right. So our strategy for AI is to empower every enterprise to transform their business. And today, we have launched 60 products and features over the 12 months. And we have about 2.8 million members in the Kaggle community. So Kaggle is one of the biggest community for AI and big data. There's a lot of public data sets that you can find inside. There's many community work that you can leverage upon. So I would encourage you, if you're building your own solution, this is really a community that you cannot miss. In terms of the AI segments, there are 2 groups of users that we see. One is the business users, and the other one is the builders. So for the business user, we have AI solutions offered to them. And these are ready-made solutions that they can leverage upon without any coding. On the other hand, if you are ML experts and the developers, you'll probably be looking forward to the AI builder tools. So let's first talk about the AI solutions. So there are 3 solutions in this space. The first one is Document Understanding AI, which you have seen previously that how it works. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. The other 2 is the Contact Center AI and the Retail, which is the Recommendation AI. So as I said, I'm going straight into the customer story. And this is the first customer that we have in Singapore, Singapore Airlines. All right. So so Singapore Airlines has a very big call center team, and they also have a call center IT team. And 1 or 2 years ago, they actually go with Dialogflow Enterprise Edition. That is actually our chatbot technology, which is part of the Contact Center AI. Right? As you can see on the screen, KrisFlyer member or the Singapore Airlines frequent flyer member, they can actually log on to the Facebook and get the support question answered by the Singapore Airlines through the chatbot, right? So here's the interaction that I did a year ago. And in the second dialog box, you can actually see that I asked about the luggage allowance for economy class, all right? So I asked for the check-in luggage. And in the third dialog box, you can see that the one that is circled in red, I asked about the cabin luggage. Now, I don't have to answer all the questions again to get my question answered on the cabin luggage. He knows that I'm actually asking about the economy class tickets. All right? So we take context into account. And that's very important when you deal with human conversation. All right? You don't want a chatbot that keep asking you the same question again. All right? It just doesn't work. All right? So context is actually very important. And as you know, Singapore Airlines hosts it. The service qualities for them is very, very important, and therefore having a chatbot that knows the context makes sense to them. So that's the first customer stories. The second one is actually Disney Online. All right. So Disney Online is an e-commerce website that sells all the Disney-related goods on their website. And before they engage Google, they are using a recommender engine. Okay. So as you can see over here, the recommended engine is actually based on more like this strategy. So when you order a pink shoes, for example, it will recommend a pink dress and a pink wears and things like that. All right. Now, they find that this recommendation engine doesn't work too well for them, and they are looking for more advanced features. So they actually take 1 year of anonymized user training data and put it into the Google recommendation AI. And here's the result that they get. All right. So over here, you can see that the test group A is what the current existing system is suggesting. And basically, when the user chooses Eeyore mask, it will suggest all the different masks, all right? But who knows, the purchaser could be a little girl, right? So the second group is actually smarter using the Google's recommendation AI. It takes into account the user's shopping pattern. He knows that the user has purchased a Eeyore pajamas before, and this is the second time that he is looking at an Eeyore mask, for example. And therefore, he can actually propose all the Eeyore's related apparels. Right? So that's A/B testing. And with that, they actually increase the click-through rate, meaning that from the product itself, you can actually add it to the shopping cart, and then you buy it. And of course, that also increased the revenue as well as the shopping cart. Right. The other thing they do for the recommendation engine is that they apply it to the shopping cart. So after the user chooses a product and add it to the shopping carts, you may want to propose, you may want to do a cross-sell so that you can actually increase the revenue. All right. So this is an old system that is actually proposed the dresses in addition to the hats that's already added to the shopping cart. Okay. And over here, again, you can see the difference that the recommendation AI made. In the first group, the group A, the customer has put in a lights-up costume, and the system actually proposed another lights-up costume, which is not really complementary. All right? But if you look at the second one, the one that's done by the recommendation AI, it actually proposed a glove instead of the light-up costume. So it's complementary. These are another examples. So over here, you have the dress proposed as well. And in the second dialogue, you actually have the jewelries and the crown proposed instead. All right? So what's interesting is that it turns out that the Google recommender actually outperforms the third-party recommendation. But another thing they find very interesting is that no recommendation is actually better than the existing recommendation. So why is it so? Well, it turns out that the placements has to do with that. All right? When you actually recommend more like this, you actually push off the buy button off the screen, and therefore, it's actually making the user more difficult to buy your current items. All right? So that is the reason why that the no recommendation is actually better than the existing recommendation. So the takeaway is really about data and about placement and the expertise that you can engage when you talk to the Google Cloud teams. Okay. All right, next we're going to talk about the AI builder tools. So for the builder tools, it's really meant for the ML expert, and it ranges from the ML hardware all the way to the APIs. All right. Now, for the ML experts who knows how to build their own TensorFlow model, who knows the difference between CNN and RNN, they're all neural network, by the way, you can actually use the ML infrastructure to help you to develop that model and train the model and predict it. But for the application developer who wants to make it smarter, they can just use a pre-trained model. There's also the in-between, which is an AI platform that is actually built on top of the infrastructure, and the AutoML that provides you with the custom model. All right? So TPU is actually part of the infrastructures. TPU, think of it like a GPU on steroid. All right? GPU is typically about 10 times faster than CPU, and TPU is about 10 times faster than GPU. All right? So it's into its third generation, and it's available in the Google Cloud. It supports PyTorch, TensorFlow 2.0, and so on and so forth. Okay. The AI platform would then provide a platform on top of the infrastructure to help you develop AI solutions. All right? So this includes Notepad, which is a Jupyter Notepad, that you can actually write HTML code as well as Python code. And you can also integrate with Google Data Analytical Services. There's also Kubeflow that actually helps you to put together a pipeline so that you can run ML jobs, data cleansing job, data transformation job, end-to-end, and automate the entire process. So these are the different cloud services that we integrate to from the cloud platforms. So for examples, in the Notepad, you can make a call to the BigQuery and use SQL to pull out the data. the data that is pulled out can then be manipulated in the Python Panda frames, right? So many people are very familiar with the Panda frames, and these are actually Python library that you can actually use to manipulate the data. The AI platform also works with AI Hub, and AI Hub is basically a catalog of services and modules that is already done. Some of them is actually done by the Google AI experts, so you can actually leverage on that. And basically, you can take the templates and implement that in your own private hosting environment. OK, so with that, now we shift the focus to the AutoML and the pre-trained models. All right. So as I mentioned, I'm not going to speak too much on the product details. My colleague Dave will be covering that in the later session. But essentially, we have different APIs that is trained based on the pre-trained model. And they actually allows you to convert unstructured data to data. For example, videos, speech, image, all right? All these, you can actually derive the context from it. Here's an example of how we use a video intelligence API. We actually collaborate with the Google advertisement. And Google advertisement today, they actually helps the customers to place the advertisement in an optimized manner. So they do it through the various way. Our advertiser can advertise on Google search platform, on the YouTube, for example. But the problem is particularly tough for the videos, right? Because the customer may be spending millions or thousands to produce the videos. But end of the day, they want to answer whether the video is effective, all right? And questions like, does a brand logo appears in first 5 seconds actually drive the recall? Meaning you can actually remember the brand after you after the video after you watch the video. And does outdoor or indoor shots actually increase view rates? You want to know about that so that you can actually do your video shots, all right? And what kind of metrics actually impact the videos, all right? And does it mean you have multiple happy faces? You will get more people to view your videos? You know, these are questions that you try to answer. And just like many things in the Google, we are a very data-driven company, and we believe that you can find the answer in the data. All right. So over here, you can see that Cloud Video Intelligence API can detect the context in the video for the entire video as well as for each of the shot. All right. So it detects that with a different confidence level. So for example, it detects that this video is about land vehicle. It's 100% is about land vehicle. It's about 99% is a vehicle. So these are the list of contexts that it returns. And with that, you can actually overlay that with the YouTube viewing data. So YouTube viewing data will tell you when the user stopped watching the advertisement. And you really want to know when he actually stops. So in this case, you realize that, hey, the moment it comes to the 0.88, it will actually drop viewing. And by combining these two data, you would then be able to find out what kind of shots drive viewership. All right? So on these screens, obviously, you want to avoid executive kind of shots where people will just turn off and cut off the viewing of the advertisement. But you probably want to do more on the schematic diagram. Right? So we're talking about a car advertisement over here. So people like to see the cars with the different design and the schematic diagrams. And that's really what you wanted to emphasize more. Right? But what you want to explore more is also the sunglasses and then the outdoor shots. All right? These are shots that doesn't appear that often, but it's probably the one that you want to shoot more if you want to have more viewership. All right, so that's one short example. Okay. The last customers I have is actually on the drone deploy. So drone deploy is a very interesting software company. What they do is that they help the customers to fly the drone, and then they also help them to take the picture, the 2D pictures, and then they combine them with the 3D, and finally they use this to do the analysis. So they take lots of photos, and these photos are taken with very high resolution, up to about 1 cm kind of resolution. All right? But you need to understand the pixels. Okay? And that's where they found that the problems on progress monitoring and tracking is very relevant to the customers. So over here, you can see a screen where the drone takes. And you can actually use AI to detect the kind of land texture that you have, just at the bottom left. And they also came up with a solution to do the counting of the objects. All right. Now, what you're seeing over here is a combination of AutoML, which you can train the machine learning to recognize custom objects, like a car, for examples, or trees. And then you can use the object detection to do the counting. Right? And because these are very high-resolution photos, on the bottom left, you can actually see the solar cells, the solar cell, which is about 1 inch in size. All right? So you can actually detect which is a solar cell that has cracked and is not functioning, and therefore you can actually use drone to do the maintenance of the solar cells. All right? So these are some of the applications that they're helping the customer with. And with that, I'll hand over to Nick. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Very, very good context there. Hi, guys. Hope you're all doing really well. I guess my job here is we've been lucky enough to be testing and using this technology for the last 18 months. This is the first time we're actually speaking about it publicly, so if there's any of our competitors in the room, can you leave now? So today I want to talk to you about continuous creation, or what we're calling continuous creation, which is the new age of creating content built specific for purpose, location, and getting those results. What I want to do is give you a little bit of context about who we are and what we do, a little bit of context then about our industry and why this technology and bringing this in is so important, and then I'll give you some examples of how we're actually utilizing this technology in its full effect. So in terms of who 90 Seconds is, we're a cloud video creation platform. And I know that means a lot of different things to a lot of people, but basically we've built a piece of proprietary technology that manages every stage of the video creation process, right from briefing, right through to uploading onto YouTube, and everything in between, the budgets, the timelines, the management. What we've also built out is a network of vetted, rated creators of 12,000 around the world. So as you can see from our little brag sheet here, we've created over 30,000 videos for over 250 global brands. But the impressive thing, or the most, I guess, defendable part of our business is the network of creators is global. We've shot in over 900 cities in 160 countries using localized creators. I guess the state of the market that we're in today, we've been in business now for 8 years. We're probably too early for the first 3 years, in fairness to us. It was all controlled via the large incumbent players, the big ad agencies, the big production companies. You needed to produce 1 to 3, maybe 5 pieces of big content a year. Took 3 months of planning, 3 months to execute, and then 6 months to get the data back and see how it worked. We're in a different game nowadays, and we've been in a different game now for 3 or 4 years where it's always on content. As you would know, digital's really come through. YouTube's right at the forefront. Obviously, Facebook and a couple others are also there. But it's all about getting your products, services, businesses, whatever you're portraying out there, but always on. You can't have a gap, even of a day, if not a week or month, where you don't have live content. In terms of our industry, though, there's a severe lack of innovation. We came into this 8 years ago. We've actually had 3 other technology businesses in the past that weren't in the production space. We didn't come at this from an agency or production background. We came at this from a technology background, and really we wanted to solve this at scale. The ability to have people all around the world being part of the gig economy, but then controlling them via a platform that we've developed and built was really key, because that brings scalability. As you can see here, unscalable, expensive, and slow is what the traditional market is. With a marketplace like ours, obviously the speed's up, we're using localized creators, and obviously the cost comes down because we're not flying people all over the show, and we're being very efficient with the time in a very live platform. So why have we partnered with Google? And I get asked this all the time, especially from AWS, who we used to be on. Really, it comes down to the technology. Google is at the forefront. I mean, and I'll talk about especially the video intelligence, but everything of our business is built on Google. We are full stack Google, right? Everything from Firebase, Cloud SQL, BigQuery, Maps, geolocations. right through to now the video intelligence, which obviously is the next stage of building our cloud platform. And then for us, it's all about utilizing and optimizing content. The biggest step in the realm of 90 seconds is we get footage, raw video footage, which, as most people would know, is a bit of a pain in the ass because it's very high res, it's very slow to upload. You can imagine uploading that in the middle of Myanmar. You've got 5 hours of shoot that you need to get up. Google Cloud really works with us to enable that. So as you can see, 900 cities getting footage uploaded from all those into a central repository that we can then leverage these video intelligence tools on the back of it to add so much value. And then for us, it's about repurposing content, maximizing the most out of it. We say to our big enterprise customers, and we win big enterprise customers because we want to shoot once and then edit many and create as many different pieces of content as we physically can from those shoots. The shoots are the most expensive part. Plan them out well. You can get numerous different cuts of content off the back of that, of which I'll go into in a second. The video intelligence and the recommendation engines and everything that we're working on with Google in alpha and beta at the moment really enables that to be not done by people, which it's traditionally done, but done via the technology. This is the creation experience right now, or continuous creation. So as you can see, I mean, we're a 100% cloud business. Everything that we've built, all our infrastructure is on the cloud. Right from the briefing, right through publishing onto YouTube is done via our platform. Once that's in YouTube, we want to collect all the data, as Shohong was talking about before. It's not just about sticking it up, understanding the data. It's what you're doing with the data from that. From that, we're analyzing the data, using this video intelligence to provide recommendations, but to provide recommendations really fast back. Traditionally, there's a problem with marketeers in terms of they used to never have any data based on their content. Now they've got tons of data based on their content, but it's the next stage of that. What do you actually do with this data? You understand that that piece of content isn't working or isn't performing. How fast can you change it? Can you understand why it's not working? Can you drill down to the scene to understand, okay, people are dropping off at 8 seconds, that's when the talking head starts. Okay, let's look at that, analyze it, change that out really fast and get that back live. That's the game we're in with Google right now. And we want to create this continuous creation funnel where we can literally have new versions up live within minutes, if not hours. Minutes is a little bit, we're not at minutes yet, but hours definitely at the moment, and hopefully moving towards minutes as a technology, and we embrace it even more. In terms of the things that I want to talk about that we're leveraging as part of our partnership with Google here is the video performance, as I've talked about, smart recommendations, the content solution. For us, the biggest thing for brands that they're struggling with as a baseline, where is the raw footage? Where's it being stored? And how are you using it once? How are you using it many times to get the maximized ROI off those shoots? The video intelligence search, which I'll go into, which is really, really interesting. Dynamic dashboards to actually take footage and recommend back to the customers, hey look, these types of content are working in these markets, what about you trying this in this market? Or this isn't working in this market, how about trying or looking at these formats? So really leveraging this again in a live platform, live data, and then some auto transcription and translation, which is really coming through, which again, everything we're doing from a technology perspective is building efficiency, trying to reduce the time it takes to upload footage, manage footage, digest footage, transcode footage, translate footage. If you're more efficient with your footage, editing time comes down, speed comes down, or speed increases, sorry, wrong way. And then obviously price comes down as well. So really building in those efficiencies. So the first one here, I mean, this is something that we've talked about for over a year with Google and YouTube, because the last thing we wanted to do was just bring back all the data that you already have as a marketer or a communications person back into our platform and you get the same view that you've already got. There's no value in that. It's already set up. The UX is great. So what we needed to do was go, okay, what's the next stage of this? We can understand, again, this video is not working. The drop-off rate is at 12 seconds. We overlay the video intelligence API, the scene recognition and object recognition over this. That then instantly tells us what's not working, what is that object or what is that scene. So instant data, feedback on that. Cool, do we want to change that clip? What are we changing that clip with is the next stage. And obviously that continuous creation funnel going in terms of replacing that clip or shortening the video and getting it back live. So again, this isn't being done in the world right now. This isn't being done at scale, and this isn't being done with the world's biggest brands, which we're in beta currently with. This is changing the game in terms of analyzing your data and making your footage more useful to use. The one platform for all your content leads is another interesting one. As I'll keep mentioning, dealing with raw footage data, you can imagine the biggest companies in the world, the HPs, the IBMs, the banks, just have terabytes of hundreds of thousands of terabytes of footage everywhere. They're stored under people's desks and hard drives. Some of them are stored in Dropbox, some might be on cloud, some might be over here. You can imagine how unusable that is and how underutilized content is across their businesses. We've got an example at the moment where we're live with a large enterprise customer with this platform, with the guise of when they are shooting a new computer, for example, they do lots of big product shots, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars doing their product shots in the States. Their teams in South America have no idea that these are being done. They're concurrently doing the same shoots in South America. Whereas with this, we're able to, in the next slide, show you with the intelligent search to be able to type in, okay, if that is the B17 printer, or computer, sorry, here's the clips we've already got that we can utilize, therefore reducing the cost that the customer needs to do. I can't say this enough, and you'll get sick of me saying, but utilization of footage, understanding the footage, the analysis of the footage, and being able to recommend off the back of it is really what this is all about. The video intelligence is key. This is really, really underpinning everything we do, from the scene, object, and shot detection. This takes it out of people's hands. You can imagine if you're an editor, you get 5 hours of raw footage. You've got to then digest, look at it, filter that down to maybe the top 25 minutes to then create a 3-minute video off the back of that. With these object detections, we can type in, for the example with the car scenes. That pulls out the 10 minutes of all the car scenes. You know from your shot list that you need X, Y, Z. So instantly, when we've done trials of this, you're instantly cutting down the editing time by 2/3, which again, the cost savings and the speed that this is bringing is really, really key. In terms of this, we also get to know some habits. This is a little fun one we did. So what we did when we got involved in this program with Google was we wanted to see some habits and different things. And beards, we've got a few beards. I normally have a beard, but unfortunately this has happened in the past. But as we could see, little things like we ingested, or we have 5 million? I think our marketing manager's going to kill me. But I think it's 5 million seconds we put through the video intelligence, and these are the types of things that came through. Unfortunately, Hong Kong's a bit lacking in the beards, but in terms of this is all done via the technology and telling us the different things. You can imagine this then being done for a FMCG company or a computer company in terms of the usage of product shots or talking heads or different things as well. So the real user case in pulling these out. And again, based on the recommendation engine. Do we recommend someone to put someone with a beard in their video or not? Maybe not in Hong Kong, maybe in the States during winter. As you can see here, this is a traditional look of how footage will be stored. It's all clips, it's all kind of muddled around. As you can see, it's quite small, but you can see beard in the top left-hand corner. The video intelligence object recognition has gone through and it's recognized as part of that video, there is a scene with a person with a beard in there. It's also giving us the time of that beard. So as you can see here, even though it's not physically right in front of you, it's obviously going through, sectioning, finding those objects and coming through. So we know, for example, at 5 seconds of this video, there's going to be a beard. So hopefully this works. So if we can play the video, please. It's not a beard yet. There we go. So as we can see, it works, but yeah, it's a pretty pronounced beard too. So that's really, really exciting for us. I think this partnership has really taken our business to the next level in terms of this. It's traditionally, as I said, we're further ahead in terms of we've always been 100% cloud with our platform and our marketplace of creators, but now it's what next? How do we move faster? How do we bring more efficiency? How do we add more value to the customers? And that is them being able to leverage the hell out of every shot they do and understanding the data behind the performance on it when it's on YouTube and being able to continuous create versions of it so you know that your media spend behind the videos is getting a result. Just a couple of other little ones. In terms of the recommendations, this is something our customers are always asking for us. What types of videos are working? What's happening in the industry? What's going on? Give us some feedback. And it's not even industry for these guys. It's, say, for example, IBM or an HP again. They're creating just thousands of pieces of digital content across their organization. And within their organization, they've got no idea what ones are performing, what ones are not, if they're in different teams or in different geolocations. With this, we're able to create dynamic dashboards to show what is working for a region or a brand or a team in a location, and then recommend. So for us, it's about recommending without our sales team having to go back in and saying, hey, did you know that the event video in South America is working really well? We know you've got events coming up, or we might not know you've got events coming up. Would you like an event video? This is our technology working with the intelligence software to smart recommend the types of content that we want to create with the brand, adding huge amounts of value, reducing the people cost, obviously, for us and our enterprise sales team going out and physically doing this. So this is really, really exciting. And in terms of, I guess, I might as well finish on the content storage, because that's a big thing that I've talked about for all of this. It's creating a clip library. So effectively, you've seen Shutterstock, sorry. You create a clip library for these brands, and they're ever thankful, because at the moment they've got no idea what's in the hard drive under the desk or what's on Dropbox or whatever. At the moment, what we're doing is working with the intelligent software to create these clip libraries, usable footage, and really moving these relationships fast to be able to bring the cost of production down and obviously increase the efficiency across the board. So that's all I have, but I think from my perspective as a user of Google Cloud, if there's any potential, I'll be a spokesboy for the moment. If you're looking at engaging with the Google Cloud team, they're really good. I mean, we changed and we've been looked after really good. The access to technology, the speed of technology, the feedback that you can get, and also they take that on board and come back to the table has been very impressive. So one, I'm very excited for the partnership in terms of our industry, but I'm sure this technology across GCP really covers most of the industries that everyone will be involved in today. So thank you very much.